Good evening. I'm Nancy Dodge from YB Stamp, and welcome to Back to Basics. I was struggling with what to do this evening, and I finally settled on just a few masking tips. Sorry I'm late. I had some issues with my software. Facebook kept wanting to pick up my camera instead of on my desk, just black. So I had to completely shut my system down, and here I am. Alrighty, let's see. I'm going to turn some more lights on. Sorry, it's so dark. Alrighty. So basically what I've done is I took some various dyes and made some masks out of it. I'm also going to use some masking tape. Alrighty, the first one I'm going to do, I have the Everyday Arches. That looks really close, doesn't it? Hold on, let me transition. Let me make that a little bigger, a little closer. It's a little better, right? Okay, so what I did is I took some cardstock and the die and cut that right out of it. And what I'm going to do is I have a card here. It's half of an 8.5 by 11 and scored at 4 1/4, so that I have a 5.5 by 4 1/4 card. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this here, and I'm actually going to use some of this. This is what I use, removable labeling tape. And I'm just going to cut this up a little so that I can get it to stick without moving. I think I'll use 4 pieces. Tape it all the way around. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to use my blending brush and some Blueberry Bushel ink. And let's see, I think I have some scrap paper here. I'm just going to tap it a little bit. I don't want it to be too dark. And I'm just going to start adding some color. Circular motion. You can make this as dark or as light as you want. And I just put some speckles in there. I don't know how I did that. It's been a day. The effect will come out the same even if I don't do a really good job on it. And I don't want it to be too dark anyway. I'm just after the effect. I'm going to keep my ink open and take this off. Keep those pieces. Doesn't that look cool? Even by itself it looks cool. And then I'm just going to take, no, I'm going to close that. I'm using my Memento. And I'm using this stamp from Gallery Blooms. And I'm going to ink it up. Sometimes I find it with the bigger ones, it's just easier to do it upside down. I don't know about you. And then I'm just going to put this like this. Isn't that cool? And then I have beautiful motifs which came in this suite. And now let's see, what should I add? Thinking of you. Just a note. How about just a note? Just a note. And I'm going to do it in Memento again. And I'm going to put it right on the card. So this is just a very simple card. Let me quickly wash and dry. You know me, I gotta have it clean, otherwise I'll end up with that all over me, because I'm that talented. Alright, just quickly wash and dry. So that I don't get black ink all over me. Alright, stick those aside. I'll add bling, and I'm going to add bling to all 3 cards at the end, so I'm just going to stick that aside. And the next one I'm going to show you, I'm using Thankful Garden. So here are the dies, and here are the stamps, and this is what I cut out to use as a mask. And I have a piece of Highland Heather cardstock and Highland Heather ink. And I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. I'm going to put this here. And it's a little smaller, so kind of you may have to put it up to the light. Hold on. To center it. Alright, I think I got it where I want it. I'm going to actually tape this down in the corners because it's smaller, and then this one in the corners. And I've got my blending brush again and my Highland Heather and my oh so lovely scrap paper, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Now it's coming out kind of dark, so I'm just going to go really lightly, and hopefully it won't come out too dark. Because I don't want it too dark, and I'll show you why in a minute. I want it just enough to show contrast. So this is going to be a monochromatic card. I'm not doing so hot with these blending brushes today, am I? It's probably because I'm rushing. I feel like I've been rushing for weeks. I need to slow down. Card making's supposed to relax me. It usually does. Move it around a little more. Okay. It's a little scattered, but that's okay. It didn't move on me, and that's the important part. Alright, so I'm going to stick the mask aside. And this is what we have. Isn't that pretty? And then I'm going to take the stamp. But I'm not really liking this big block, so I'm going to move it to the smaller block that I used for the last card. It's just too bulky. Okay, so I'm going to ink this up again in Highland Heather. And then I'm going to excuse my head if it gets in the way. I'm going to line this up as best I can. Hope it comes out right. Best laid plans, right? Oh, that's not bad. Isn't that pretty? This is meant to be monochromatic. Just going to quickly wash the stamp. Wash and dry. Or we're going to look like a rainbow. Okay. Then I want to put a little sentiment on it. How about you make a difference? We'll just put that right along the bottom. So when I put a sentiment on my block, I do it crooked. I know a lot of people line it up, but I do it crooked because when I'm stamping I can see it. But when I line it up straight, now my hand is over it and it's harder to see. So that's why I do that. Oops, sorry. Alright, I'm just going to put this right in the middle. Like so. Quickly wash it. Dry. I love that little scrubber. And then I'm just going to mount it on this cardstock. Like so. So there's our second card. Alright, the last card I got a little trickier with, and I'm using mixed floral dies and stamps. Now remember, you can also use these with the pieces that are left over from your cutouts from your paper pumpkin. So I have this stamp, and what I've done is I stamped it in Memento, and I stamped it on Memento with this, and then I let it dry and I cut it out. And on this piece I stamped it in Memento, and then I colored it with blends. So here is the piece that I die cut out, and I'm going to do something a little different with this one. So I'm going to put this mask over my image, and I decided that I need to move it up a little, that I just want to add a shadow to this. There we go. But I still want to mask it because I don't want to cover my the coloring that I did. So I'm going to line this up, and then I'm just going to move it over a little bit. And down just a little bit. I know it seems odd, but it's just a shadow, right? And then I'm going to tape it. Now the trickiest part is, one, I have to be careful of these little pieces. Let's see if I can get a little closer. Is that a little better? There we go. I have to be careful of these little pieces from the cutout when I do add my ink. And I also need to be careful. I'm going to put this along here. Hopefully I don't get this on my card front, because we've already seen how talented I've been today. All right. So I'm going to pull out my scrap again. Yellow. Hopefully this will come out a little better. All right, now I need to be really careful of those pieces. You could also use a sponge dauber. I do have a sponge dauber right here. You could use a sponge dauber. Just gonna be really careful around those pieces, because I just want to give it a shadow. So I'm not doing a circular motion because I don't want to accidentally pull up those little pieces. Just kind of giving it a little spritz. All right. I think I got it. Put a little more down here, since it tends to shade more on the bottom, right? Okay. Remember, this was just all thought out. I hadn't tried it yet. So if it doesn't work, oops, sorry, I apologize. But it should be okay. All right. I'm going to take this off. And you can keep reusing these. They stick over and over and over and over again. Okay. So see, it just adds the shadow. So when you pull this off, gently, because you can use this again too, and I'll show you in a minute. I keep mine inside here, so I have it whenever I want it. It'll stick in there. So see, I gave it just a little bit of a shadow, just to add something to it. And then I want to add, put this away, some words. And there aren't any words on this. I forgot. All right, let's see. How about if we use something from here? Thankful for you, friend. Will that fit? Nope, it's too big. Let's see what I got in front of me. Looking for one that has a lot of words. That's current. I think is Simply Said current. I can't remember. I want to make sure I use something that's current. Well, how about the right words? Is that good? I don't know. We'll use Thinking of You. Seems to be a lot of what I use lately, Thinking of You. And I'm going to do it in the Memento. Just stick it on. There we go. Quickly wash and dry. And I'm I'm just going to stick this on plain white cardstock. But I did not want to stamp directly on the cardstock because the Stampin' Blends that I used to color the image see through in the back. So I didn't want that on my card. So I'm just going to adhere this to the front. It's a little trickier when it's the exact size. But I think I got it. All right. I'll go back to the other view, the messy view where you can see all my tools. And here are the 3 cards we did with masking. I am going to add some bling, and I'm going to post these on the Facebook feed, and I would love to see yours, whatever you try masking, because I think it adds a whole different dimension to plain and simple cards. Thank you very much for joining me. I will be back next Sunday with product highlight, and until then, happy stamping.